All right, we're live again, back out with another Q chat. Papa Murphy couldn't make it, slinging pizza and barbecue at the barbecue, and now I guess pizza joint, but now barbecue joint. So Dave is gonna make it again for this episode here tonight. Riding solo again. We got Angel, we got Travis Murphy, Ron Templeman, Scott McDonald, Boggs. What's going on, Greg? Just me again tonight. We couldn't get Papa John's to step away again. He's getting slanted, which is a good thing. That's a big risk he took running a restaurant and getting to live the dream. And hey, whatever he can do to live it. I'm very excited for him. But just real quick, while we're getting fired up here, before I get to the sponsors, we'll not have an episode next week. I'm going on vacation. So we're going to be off next week, but we're coming back the following week. We're going to get some people lined up here to come on to the show. But yeah, real quick, got to give a shout out to what's going on, everyone. Ron, Chris Kosman, Rick Manzi, Jim Hudgens. Tell you what, man, Ed's sitting here in the waiting room, and man, he's got a huge audience here ready to support him. But we got to give a shout out here real quick to not Q Chat, the Beast Girls. Shout out to Barbecue Beast. I just put in today for my time off and got approved for the American Royal because we're heading to Kansas City. Very, very excited for that. Mention him in the comments. Chris Kosman, Booster Barbecue. Use the discount code QChat for 10% off your order. Hit up the Arkansas combo. Get yourself some Blues Hog, Killer Hogs, that kind of good stuff. Did some tri-tip with some Killer Hogs AP rub and some Holy Gospel that I got off him here this weekend. Shout out to Big Jim Hudgens. I was talking to him here, and you talk about an amazing, amazing seasoning. This stuff right here, I can't wait to hopefully one day win a gold ticket with it and take it to Texas, man. I'm so excited with that. And then also got to give a shout out to Flame Boss. Shout out to Dave Frosch for hooking us up with some awesome goods from Flame Boss. And I'm very, very excited for the announcement they're going to have coming out here in a couple months that he wouldn't share with us. So, shout out to all those people. Shout out to all of you for making this show, even a thing. We really, really appreciate each and every one of you. And Jim Hudgens said in the comments here, big bottles coming soon. So, we're going to get some big bottles of rub, which I'm very excited. He just sent us a load of seasonings. So much so I'm scared. I don't even know where to put it all, but I got to give it away. So my first competition coming back August 14th at Jeff Campbell's Bel Air SCA. I'm going to have Jim Hudgens on me all the time. So if you all want to try it, I can get you hooked up with some and get you taken care of. And hopefully here we'll be doing some giveaways here once Dave gets kind of settled back into the restaurant and is able to come back up on the show, hopefully here in a couple weeks. That being said, let's bring on Mr. Ed. That kind of rhymed. Ed, if you all know him, love him, everyone's very excited in the comments for him. Talk about one of the best dudes you will meet in barbecue and the SCA, and someone happy to call a friend. How you doing, Ed?
Thank you. Good, buddy. Thank you very much. That was very nice.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm very excited to sit here and talk to you, and I know Dave was very excited too, and he's very upset he's getting to miss this, but I know he's probably listening and or watching, or definitely we'll get back to doing it here soon. But
he's a new businessman. It's he's got to keep busy. He's got big chores ahead of him. I wish him all the best because you know what that's like.
Yeah, for sure. So Ed, I said, wow, I'm just rhyming like crazy tonight. I said, know you from the SCA competitions here, but talk to me. How did you get into barbecue in general?
Let's see. Well, barbecue, I was one of 5 kids. And let's say when things are a little tight, you learn to be creative and eat when you can, do what you can with what you got. So that kind of started in stealing food out of my grandmother's freezer, going in the woods, cooking it. That was fun. Doing all that stuff when I was younger, but I got more into it as I got older. I have an uncle, Ernie, always loves cooking, always doing the stuff, and I had it in me already, and I just started doing it and a lot, and then all of a sudden, I got a dose of Pitmasters in Dover live. The episode with Myron and all them when it was pouring down rain, and I was watching them all, and I was standing in the rain watching all that, saying, "Man, I could do this too." But that was a coming too.
Okay. And so you've always kind of just cooked on fire and did all that stuff, just being creative?
Well, no, just more or less. I always had grills. I had some kind of cooking devices and stuff that way. But then I ended up getting I won through work, a smoker, a Brinkman gas smoker. And I got that, started cooking with it. Then I started cooking for all the guys at work, and we kept finding reasons to cook all the time. And they said, "Man, you're even good." So next thing you know, man, I want something bigger. And it's grown. And I got to keep my voice down because the missus, I don't want her to think I'm buying something new. It just got into a thing where I just got it, and I always I liked the gas one. Matter of fact, I kept it. I like old school. I don't know, and I liked it. So I was playing with a real cheap Brinkman, and man, that thing stunk, and I still have that, and I don't know why I have that, but I've always liked it, and they gotten better, and I got the competitive edge in me a while back, about 2015-16, and I entered my first comp at Triple Threat, and that was a coming which I'll never forget. Pouring rain, sleet, snow. I got the cheapest 10 by 10 tent, and I'm surrounded by big teams. And man, I'm not even going to mention their names, and they're looking at me like tears for me. I got sleet sideways. My daughter's getting ready to do her first turn in box. She's got everything laid out right there. And man, the wind picks up, and the rain falls right in the middle of the box.
Oh,
and man, I was
man.
just like, I am doo-dooed, man, and I'm just so mad. And I finally got the brisket. I mean, I pulled my pork out on my box, get ready to turn in. I said, "Oh, let me change it." Touched it; it was frozen. And man, I ended up leaving right in. I took stuff, I threw it in the truck. I said, "I'll never go to another comp like this again," and which then I didn't. But then I took a little bit more serious, and then it just progressed from there.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a crazy one. And is this right here? Is that what you were cooking on there?
God, actually, yes, it was. That was my that was my first baby there. Yep, all the way down in Georgia.
Wow, you drove all the way down to Georgia to pick it up.
Oh yeah, man, amazing deals you can get when you travel.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's still to this day too. Don't forget it. Just came back from Texas, and everybody knows about that trip. What I brought back.
What'd you bring back from Texas?
I brought me a Santa Maria grill.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
So is that what you're gonna
little story about that? Surprised the missus with that, but I had a vision for that. Like I got a vision for everything. It's just getting them all to come together. But yeah, we finally used it the other day, and I just landed a pretty big gig using it, and I think it was a wise investment.
Hey, wait a minute. Is that what that is?
What's that? Oh, no, that's somebody who's getting ready to take the side of my truck out and get to see the side of it. Nobody has really seen before.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't need to see that.
Don't give me that much credit.
So you did your first KCBS, the Triple Threat, in 2015-16, which I thought I had pictures of.
It was like 16. Yeah.
So
16.
Did you just dive right into doing the 4-meet KCBS?
Yeah, and I did. I actually really did. I jumped in making my own rubs, my own sauces, my own everything, not knowing nothing about injections, not knowing nothing about, I'm just doing good old do it gently, old school, thinking, man, how can anybody not like this? And then actually I finally got, believe it or not, man, this is going to go with kudo. Rolf Garrett actually gave me a piece of his brisket at BBQ in Annapolis. I was on the side of Three Eyes, Don Wallace, forgot what team he was with, and then Rolf and all them, and we never really tasted it. And they actually let me have a taste, and that was another coming. And then not too long after that, I went to the DC barbecue battle, and that was a very tough event. I'll tell you what, that was a unique experience, again, with my own rubs, my own sauces. And we're just sitting down Saturday after the pork championship where the judges come in your booth and you sample with them and you taste everything and you present it that way. And then you also have a KCBS part. So we're just done with that. And my son just went back. We got a hotel room down a couple blocks. He went to go take a shower, and all of a sudden Luke Darnell invited me over to sit down next to him, and we talked a little bit. He started asking me, so how are you doing? What do you know? I see you doing comps and stuff. How are you doing? And I said, well, I think I'm doing good, but so. So Luke turned around and said, well, what rubs are you using and all? I said, all my own. And he goes, how's that working out for you? And I said, well, seems like comp-wise it doesn't do too good, but people like it. He goes, what about sauces? Same response. He says, well, how's that working? So eventually the conversation grew. He was getting ready to think about to do a class, and he's going to do a practice, and he invited me to come. And that was an opening which I'll never forget all my life that way. And one thing I always liked about Luke, you learn what you can from him and all that way, but apply what you want to do too eventually. And I did, and ended up getting, a whole lot better with it. Then I started getting on a little bit more of a roll, and because I like Bill Gillespie a lot, real good people, and he's very good. He's a Yank, so I trust the Yanks, so I like him, and I'm a big fan of Chris Hart. So so that's another shout out. I just want to say I got to represent all the Northern boys up that way, but that was the starting for me, and finally Newcastle. I broke the barrier with ribs and ended up getting pretty good with chicken. Ended up a 5th overall, which cried like a little baby. But man, had the fever, and next thing you know, you start getting involved and start getting busier. Work kind of impeded. That was Haas's. We ended up finishing, I think, 3rd. I won ribs there. Finished in Chef's Choice, the 2nd or 3rd. But Jack Hollis, I think, ended up winning, and John Knabb and them, I think, won the other. Tough competition there too. If anybody ever gets, and that's something you and Dave should try. Haas's Barbecue Brawl in the fall. They're not doing it this year, but they'll be doing it next year, and it's a pretty awesome event.
We'll have to keep that in mind for sure. For sure. So that was no. Keep going. This is why you're on here, man. I want to know you. I want to know your story. Everyone knows and loves you at the competitions, and but competitions.
I'm sorry.
No,
I got to wear people out at comps. I'm sorry. You keep saying that. I just know. The one Lancaster event, I had my radio so bad. I had Jeff Campbell. You know how wired that dude is already. He's over there mosh pitting 3 tables or 4 away from me saying, your music was jamming. And meanwhile, Steve Caputo's pregnant wife's like right next to me. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm blowing it with her again. So I know I got to drive people nuts. But that's me 24/7. I really mean it. I don't know. That's just the way I am, I guess.
No, I love it. I love it. And I know Jenna enjoys it too whenever she sees you, because her first competition she ever went to along with me, ever. Never been to a KCBS, never went to a SCA, anything. We were sat right beside you, and you just kept making fun of her the entire time for how cold she was. And there you are in shorts and a T-shirt. It wasn't too warm out there, but she was just all bundled up, and you just kept ragging on her. And from there on out, she absolutely loves every time she goes to a competition and sees you there.
Well, that was the first time my wife ever went to an SCA event, and she thought I was picking on you too much because you started playing with a GoPro, Dave, but you were taking videos, and you were layering, and I kept saying, I was like, dude, look at that laying. I was like, leave that boy alone. Man, he's laying asphalt down on that thing. But no, you're cool. You guys were cool too, but yeah, it's made me cold.
Yeah, no, I had no idea what I was doing back in the Sims. I still have no idea what I was doing. Just somehow or another, I ended up getting calls. Yeah, I somehow ended up starting getting calls, and the rest is semi-history. But let's swing into the SCA, Ed. I'm scrolling back here through your pictures and all, and 2019 was that competition. I put those pictures of the trophies up. And then the next one is a picture of you here with Mr. Ken Phillips.
Yeah, I think that was Lancaster, and I want to say a 3rd or 4th. I got pretty high on that, and I'd always been bugging Ken Phillips, and we finally got to meet, so I had to take my lumberjack picture with him. I know, and yeah, Lancaster always has some good ones up there, memorable ones.
Yeah. So how'd you get into the SCA side of things?
Well, believe it or not, like Scott McDonald told you, I kept seeing SCA. Man, in fact, I had it here. I think my grandson ran it, ripped it away. But I kept seeing the things and I kept doing it. And I mentioned to Linda, I always want to go vacation to Texas. I said, hey, she goes, no way, to cook a steak. And I was like, nah. So anyway, blah, blah. So they ended up doing one of the first ones ever over in Edgewater. And I went with Brian Reamer and went with him to help him. And that already bugged me because I wasn't doing it. He ended up getting like a fifth. And man, I was hooked right there. I was even bragging I was on the team with him because I did help move that stove and I dumped the ash. I'm going to get you for that, Reamer. But I got bit right after that. And that following year, that's when all, like Scott told you, we started doing the Kensington and all those Maryland ones and Lancaster and all. And then it was just I believe in myself. I do like the competitiveness of things. I've always been involved with competitive things, and I think that's why another reason why I got into cooking too, just for that aspect. Because my uncle calls me Captain Anal. I can't work with nobody. I'll work with my uncle. Anybody can come help clean up after the last turn in. But usually that doesn't happen because everybody gets a chair and eats all my leftovers, and then I end up putting them in the van, and I can do to have my little beverage to enjoy that. But I was just bit. And then I think the following year I ended up going to the shed. I met Scott up there. He doesn't remember me on that one. That was eye-opening. That was, man, right there. It just showed me what the level really was. And you really were able to compete also. I did ribs and turkey there too. And I did not do the Bloody Marys because that was sick. But man, I ended up doing pretty good with ribs. I like 130 something. I did like 40 something, and turkey like 60 or something. But my steak, and this is when Alex was on a tear. I don't know if I got pictures on my website, whatever. I had a fan steak, and Alex was hot right there and all. And I remember him walking over, and Alex was very helpful with me too in SCA. Just giving me little hints. He wouldn't give them to me like right out, but he'd make me think them out. And we did it. But when he saw my steak and I had a badass one, and I was like wondering what he had because I knew it could have benefited him more with his points and stuff. But man, I butchered that thing. I ended up getting 90th out of that.
Wow.
And that was a hell of an experience with all those competitors there. And just watching the movies, everybody in their own little zone. And it was just the little things you learned. It was just, that's what I love about it. And still, even around our competitors we have here, I see people very open to learning and teaching things. And I even get myself doing things wide open. And then all of a sudden he sees me and they turn their head quick. I said, man, if you want to see how to do it, maybe that's where I'm going wrong lately with stuff. But I don't think so. But you're getting people interested in teaching them. I'm babbling on, but that's what it's fun about.
Oh yeah. Teaching people how to do it is absolutely fun. I mean, like I said, I'm still not having too much of a clue on what I'm doing, to be consistent. But, when we were at the York, we had a team beside us. They were a backyard team, and they'd never seen a steak cook, never even heard of it before. So those guys are there just huddled around, like watching me cook this steak. And I'm just, kind of just like, here's what I'm doing. Here's how it's doing it. And, ended up taking 9th, which that was awesome. But those guys are like, oh, we don't want to see. I'm like, dude, I'm using the Arcasipi combo and Jim Hudgens steak seasoning. I tell people that every single week, and it was very cool to get to talk to them about that. So
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, we actually, like Tim Newell, Greg Eigenbrode, and myself, we've even taken on like a younger fella. His name's Owen. And once in a while he comes, and that's the neatest thing too, is watching these young kids starting to get into. So I'm going to get excited for him. He just turned 16. His mom's going to bring him to an event, and she'll hopefully let him hang out with us. And I could see that'll be awesome SCA moment there.
Is he going to get to go to Uncle Ed's music camp, or?
Everybody else has done that, but I've been doing a lot of self-thinking lately, what you do when certain things are going on. And then I kind of did the music set today, actually. I'm going to impress you guys the next one.
What's that?
Also have earbuds. I'll impress everybody with the next music selection. Plus, I'll have earbuds then. You'll just have to hear me sing.
you were jamming last time I was up in Lancaster with you, and it was the funniest thing ever. I mean, it was hardcore stuff, man. I'm just sitting there, minding my own, and you're just going to town.
Dude, I mean, I don't do it to be obnoxious, and I know
No,
everybody's
I
gonna have a
love
hard
it.
time believing that. But it's just you get into a zone, and I forget. I go with Greg a lot, and we're standing here, and he goes, I like anything you like." And then all of a sudden, I shut one off. He's like, "Oh my God, thank you for shutting that off." And I'm like, if he's saying it, oh my God. I mean, I'm wondering why George Sardino gives me that look.
Oh man, hey, I got a comment on here. Some
I
angel
just
commented.
imagine. Are they killing me? Are they killing me, man?
No, no, I gotta ask because she said the first time she met you was you told her your name was Pierre.
Yeah. Yeah, she went by it, and then her father, I'll never forget it because her father, he's got the craziest eye when he ain't happy with an answer. And he kind of gave me that look, and I said, "Pia," I still stuck with it, but she didn't forget it after I told her when it was Ed. And I actually did that to Manley's daughter too, but by then everybody was on to my game, so that I ruined that one.
You could easily pull off a Pierre.
Oh yeah, I got my little wee wee hat and all that.
So I gotta ask, you got some pretty cool pictures on here, man, on your Do It Gently page.
Okay,
How?
I'm worried about archival pictures. I got a lot of nasty friends, man.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're actually weren't that hard to dig through. You want to talk about fun to dig through? Look through Josh Farley or Brant's, from Pig and Whiskeys. Those are fun to dig through.
Oh yeah.
But are you doing cater? Was this catering for NASCAR or what?
Yeah. Again, before the cooties hit, I had this was with Rouse Racing, and that's my best friend Todd. Todd is a car chief for them, and I got a lot of friends and ex teammates and stuff that are involved still racing, and they gave me a great opportunity at Dover to cater the meal for the teams, which
That's
was a neat
awesome.
experience, and it was just anytime, man. I'm telling you, that's one thing that's great about food and cooking and just doing it. It's just people with food, good friends, and all that stuff. It makes for good times and like that. That was a very memorable. That's a good picture. That was a
Yeah,
memorable time.
that's very cool. I mean, because I have a little bit of a passion for racing still. I mean, there's my old racing side on my go kart.
Okay,
But just seeing like the barbecue mixing the racing, like you have Nathan. Oh crap, I can't forget his last name now.
Martin.
Martin, yes, Nathan Martin. I mean, having the barbecue mixed in with the racing, man, that's pretty
How
daggone
can
cool
you
to me.
forget freedom, baby? How can you
I knew
forget
it was Freedom
freedom?
Shoes. I was getting ready to say Freedom Shoes. I just couldn't think of his last name because Martin is such a
That's right.
daggone common name down here, man. Everyone's named Martin where I live, and it's all
Is it?
it's yeah. Martin's very
Mine's
common.
Gent. Just kidding.
So you last year, I guess, did that when you kind of turned up the heat and started doing more SCA than KCBS, or have you made that transition yet? I'm jumping
Yeah,
too ahead.
yeah. Well, this is yeah. Last year it really sucked for cooking because again, I started getting pretty good. I personally myself getting better doing what I was doing with what I've learned and with my own stuff. And I was starting to get really good with it. And all of a sudden, the cuties kicked in, which was man, that sucked big time. And then I just remember there was some SCA comps going. I did them. I said, okay. And then Pennsylvania started playing with more of them and just kept doing them. And I'll tell you what, it was therapeutic. I tried doing that virtual barbecue stuff. And that's
Oh,
why I'm going to tell you a story. That's why I'm not posting pictures on Facebook hardly anymore, nothing. Because I'll tell you, I thought I had a very good ribs and stuff. I get a score sheet back, and I'm almost dead last of almost 500 people, and I'm like, how in the Jesus you going to tell me my? And I even had my granddaughters chew on that rib and show how easy her teeth still pulled in there with a tooth missing. A piece was still. I got to pull that picture up one time, and they still with a little side video I did for it. I got like second to. Oh my God, second to
yeah.
last. I was like,
Oh
man,
my god.
that virtual was just
That
crazy.
you can ask Dave. That ruined me. I mean, the rib
Me
one
too,
was
man.
okay. The rib one was like okay, no idea what it's doing. But then I saw people posting their videos, and I'm like, it said like a quick clip. there's guys like that are actually doing full production things. I'm like, okay, you want that? We can do it. So I ended up doing full production, did like whole photography for my brisket or my whatever. I had like 4 or 5 people help me write my recipe, do all this stuff. I was like pretty much down there with you, almost nothing. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like there's like
I love Greg Boggs. I love Greg, but he goes and puts his picture up in there, and then he does. I was like, God dang, I like you, boy, but God dang. And boy, he was on the tear with those things too, man. He just couldn't stop. Then I'm watching. I started getting these emails and stuff about buying lighting systems, how to take pictures. And now I got people from my webpage. Wow, you need to put pictures up there for your business. And I got to start doing that stuff. But for one thing first, let me get my regular computer working so I have to use my phone.
No, man, I feel that though. That virtual that wrecked me, and I was so happy to get back to doing competitions there later on, towards the end of the year, because I needed it for sure.
Well, what would you just look at it now with comps? I'm just amazed how much of the backyard is taken off.
Oh my goodness!
I got neighbor fellas coming up and starting to bug me. Hey, if I do this and stuff like this, and so why do you want to do this? Man, I hear so-and-so having a competition. And it's good to see them do that. And I just hope it rebounds, because it's kind of sad. Like the KCBS, I want to do it again, but it really has become very costly and stuff. And one thing I'd always like to add, because I never get a voice with saying this, I don't understand why KCBS elects officers, and by the time they're done with running their elections and doing they're running for another new board the following year. You don't get these guys to run competitively. They don't have to be Pelosi long, but you know what I mean? I'm talking about just getting a couple terms. Childs, for example. Mm-hmm. I thought that was awesome. He was going to get in there and give the guy a chance. And it's just, that's what sucked. But I'm hoping it gets better, and I'm hoping these young guys are going to bring the backyard into the pro stuff. And I'm definitely want to do a couple next year. I need to do a couple next year.
Yeah. Let me tell you what, that backyard stuff, I say it quite a bit, but they turned it up, really well. Back when I started in 2016 with my first competition, it was nothing. I mean, I remember my first competition was Chris Shriver's first competition. You had like Howard Poole, Plum Crazy, and Josh Pace from Bad to the Bone Barbecue, and those guys had done a couple. But I mean, there was like 10 of us back in the far back field of a field, and they kind of forgot about us. And it wasn't the most fun thing in the world. I mean, it was fun because we were out cooking. But now I see this year, and I mean, there's guys rolling in there with rigs that are, look like you could be pros, and they're putting up some high scores. I mean, you got guys
some
out there
of them need to go pro too, though, Jake. Some do need to go pro, and I love a bunch of the guys I know are probably watching this and been doing it a while, and they need to go pro. You know who you are, boys. I'm not calling you out.
The hardest part about that is, like the good point of it is like, go pro, you're doing well, you're dominating, but at the same time, it's, for $150 to do an entry fee plus 4 racks of ribs and 18 pieces of chicken to go off and have a daggone good fun time. You can't do that in the pros though. I mean, the pros are putting out $250 for entry fee. You're buying a $250 brisket. You're buying $100 worth of pork. You're buying, all these ribs to go out and probably get handed to you from, Childs and guys that are able to compete every single weekend versus Dave and I, who do it about 9 times a year. If we're lucky, this year's insane. But to go out and have a good weekend and lay down for $250 out of pocket to have a good weekend. I mean, I kind of see what you're thinking about too, man. Like,
I went up to upstate New York. I don't want to name the event. I love them. I love the event. I like doing it. And finally, it was good seeing family come visit and doing it. But your cost of your meat, shoot, I had more than that because I started getting really serious with it. I think I was up there. Chris Hall was one of the last MABA members up there with me. And all of a sudden, he said, you got to look at Ed. You got to look at the purse. And there again, I'm doing it because I love it. Hey, if I win, that's even great. But then, hey, I win some. But man, when you see a pot, you wouldn't go win for $200. Man, that's an eye opener. Where I might have just spent over $200 just to win 200. I mean, that made me think twice. Again, like seeing family, but I had to start getting smarter, and I started doing that, and everything all happened, and now it's back to scratch again.
Yeah, no, I definitely get what you mean. I think everyone will and should, eventually move on with it. But the more I think about it, like, $200, $250 to go get a taste of competition barbecue and have a lot of fun, you can't beat it because, there's no way you can roll in with tent. There's ways, but roll in with tents, a Brinkman smoker and cook, a 4-meat backyard. You can't do it.
See,
and
I think they should throw in. I think it should in backyard. I think so they start learning to get it, and I think it's a choice. And then they supply the meat. I got these ideas about it, but I think it always should be either a chicken or a rib is one for the, and then you do either the pork or a brisket for the other. So you're going to do a rib and brisket for this comp, but you don't know the wild meat, you know what I mean, till you get right on, you get to the event, the meat's supplied, and it helps keep the cost down too. And then, again, add the bad one right on.
Yeah. So does that mean you run for KCBS board?
No.
No. Yeah, I don't blame you one bit with that.
I got to make sure I talk loud naturally, and again, I got to watch. I don't want the missus thinking I'm joining something again too.
I saw the wink. Don't worry. So, how did you last year? We'll keep on with that. You walked second place at Smoke in the Grove, and that's where you ended up getting your gold ticket, isn't it?
Yes, I did. Chris Jackson, he had won that. That's when I got to know Paulini really good. Yeah, it was an awesome day. I think that's one of the first times. I think Greg went with me. That was one of the first times. Yeah, I think Greg went with us, and he competed too, and went up there and got a second. And at first, I didn't even think about the golden ticket, and then Chris had got it, and man, that's right when the cooties thing was really going strong, and you had to go up and you had to wear a mask. He had this
prime cooties time,
and I was so mad because I said, "Man, I want this to be real. And please don't do it to me, Jake." Did I ever put that up there? That one with that mask picture. Oh my God! Imagine with this.
Nope.
You got a mask on, and it was already sweaty, Eddie. Yeah.
Nope, I got you.
It was hot, but it was good. But I really raised the bar after because I actually wanted to win before I went to Texas. So it was like I did it, without a hand me down. And that was a while to get over that thought of that. But the privilege of being there and having that experience alone. Tim Newell's my riding partner. Oh God. And I mean, my personal experience was we did the stakes, we turned them in, you want to go to judging, you want to hear your name. It was so cool having Tim sitting right next to you, scared the shit crap out of you. Jumping up to go get his name was so cool to see that for him. Then you want to go check your scores. And I keep remember Mr. Moody's name right at the beginning, but I go put my finger down the line from the top 10, and son of a gun, I was 15th, 1.5 away from top 10. And he turned around and looked, is that where you finished? He goes, yeah, don't you wish now your finger went down a whole lot farther? I said, you bet. Because, oh man, that just ate at me. And man, did that, next day, it just affected me for the Cowtown and everything. Yep. It was so close, man. But we represent, everybody represented. I was proud of what us Yanks did.
That's right. Well, we got special delivery here. The pizza boy finally decided to join us.
What's up?
What's up, everybody? What's up? How you doing?
Good to see you.
You too. I had to make it in for you. I tried.
Wow, it feels special.
It was a busy night.
But yeah, man. Well, welcome, Dave. Good to see you. Angel's happy to see you there too.
Hi, Angel.
Tim Newell. Man, it's like we got another special guest on here.
It got crazy. Tonight was our first night we sold barbecue.
You go home smelling like Italian sub?
I do. Nah, my place is clean. It smells like barbecue. We did barbecue today for the first time, and it was wild and crazy.
I get a friend who worked in the deli, man. He'd come home and he smelled like the subs and stuff he made all day.
Oh, I bet. Nah, it doesn't smell too bad.
Well, so Ed, I gotta ask you. You said you were going to be focused for Cowtown and all, and you want to get to Texas, man. You seem pretty daggone focused in this picture here.
Yeah, I was having a good time there. Yeah, that was that was a good day. I was happy that day. That was a good time, man. I'll tell you, that was an experience of all just driving, going down, took like 7 teams down Stuff Town, but I had the plans of bringing the Santa Maria grill back secretively from the missus. So we ended up with, by the time we had everybody's stuff, Tim, I felt bad for Tim because we were all done with that. And we tried to load the truck right tight. We loaded the back trailer. And dude, we rode 2.5 hours south, and we pulled up to the guy's garage. I was like, man, where's my grill? He goes, I did something special for you. I made it a little longer and a little wider for you. And I was like, oh my God, we couldn't put it in the trailer. Oh, I had to ride. We rode all the way down there and had to drive all the way back, and I had to have it shipped home.
Oh man.
So yeah, that was a.
So there's a comment that says, ask you about your pepperoni sub.
Oh, who's asking? Oh, you ain't getting that, but that's my famous thing, Dave. That's my famous
thing. Let's go.
Pepperoni subs. All my New Yorkers, if you're on here, you know what I'm talking about. I will not give them the recipe. But it is banging though. I'll tell you what, it'll clear out a system, but they are delicious.
Yeah, don't tell anyone that. We don't need that in the
I don't need to be Jake making any special requests.
You know what? I will do that, as you know, Raz is always bringing the hot dog. Maybe towards one of the fall Lancasters, I'll bring my pepperoni subs down. We'll wait till after the event and I'll make sure the Peraltas are all cool with us doing that because their bathroom and everything will be available more. But I'm sorry, it's not that bad. But they are good.
So
I'm sorry.
I heard one thing to never do is never follow you on a road trip. Apparently you drive like crazy.
Yeah, we were just getting to point A to point B is in a timely fashion, and I ended up getting sucked down a little bit toward the Jersey wall. Something flew, and a fellow buddy thought he goes, man, he's driving crazy. And I was like, dude, you've been on my butt the whole time. We lost Paulini hours ago. And we're right in Dallas-Fort Worth, that area, and we had to slow down anyway. But we had a long trip, and we were rocking. I'm telling you, 85, 90 most of the way. I'm no lie. That was a long ride.
Daggone. Oh, man.
Yeah, a lot longer than the shed, yeah.
Yeah, sounds like it. Dave, I don't even know what to do with you up on the screen anymore. I missed you up there, man.
I'm sorry. I got home as fast as I could. I was like, I'll just get on for a little bit. I gotta see my boy Ed.
God bless you. We do have some good conversations in the trailer.
Oh, yes.
And I gotta ask you, and you're the first person I've asked this to. What does BSC stand for?
See, I knew you were all going to ready to ask all that. Y'all knew, but man, I'm not kidding you, and I'm not lying to you. Just a bunch of it. We got a finished rub we're working on. It's almost done. Please, it's just we're close. Everybody doing don't soon enough. BSC though, baby. It's going to be good.
I'm still not allowed to know what BSC stands for.
If I did, it gives away a lot of stuff away, and I want to be fair to others right now. Jake, I know there's 5 owners. I know it, right, Rick Manzi? Right? He knows where I'm going with this.
Everyone's commenting BSC. I'm gonna start banning people.
They're just doing it to aggravate. My thing is, I'd rather do it, just get over it, because I tell you, ever since, I don't know if I told you guys, Greencastle, I got like 3rd there, and I ended up getting another one. I'm the one that got DQ'd at the 3rd one. I did a last-minute turn in, and all of a sudden I remember pulling my toothpick out, all of a sudden I was like, man, I don't remember taking that second one. I look, it's not there. I go look at my picture, it's not there in my picture. I said, maybe I just threw it. I'm running late. I was running late. I ran right up. I turned it in right to the very few seconds. And son of a gun, I get my call for that day there on the other one. Then all of a sudden they turn around and said, So yeah, we had a DQ. Man, tear just started going down my eye. And I was like, son of a gun. I even told people at the end, and a couple people thought I was kidding with them when I told them. I said, you ain't gonna believe what I did. And I mean, I know it's to the point you don't want to tell people, but I tell you, if I don't say it, that 2-hour ride home sucks eating at you. And when you ride with Greg Eigenberg, he's mad at his scores. That doesn't make for a good ride together. I should have just sat in the back of the truck cab and just talked to myself in the wind. But ever since then, I'm telling you, I've voodooed myself, and I'm telling you, I've been all of a sudden the following week, DB 180, and that was a surprise. I'm not lying to you. That announcement at Lancaster,
that was awesome.
For, being sponsored, from that, and what an honor, because Will Collier is a class act man, and I mean, I would wear this dude out with questions, and it was like rub questions because he seemed like the one that was really into it. He's doing all these different things. I wasn't asking for a secret, but I said, man, I tried this and I do with yours. Do you think? He goes, I've tried that. And it was so great. And then when they announced that, I was like, all right, didn't get called that week. And it was all good. But man, I've been skunked ever since Greencastle. I've done diddly squat. I started getting a little bit better again this last couple comps. But that's the whole thing with time and starting to look into everything. So basically, I've just been to the point now where I've just, woosah. I've just thrown everything out. Matter of fact, my granddaughter, here, see all the tickets? She's want to know, what are all these tickets? I said, I got to get rid of them. I got to start new, man. I got to start getting. And she's funny. She's throwing them up like confetti. It's like the truth. It's just, I'm just so overthinking stuff now and getting stuff going. So when it gets back to Spring Grove, which will be the year for the other, I'm just going to go back into doing. But you get yourself so caught up in trying to get in now because our competition in our area is unbelievable. Just look at the scores. Look at these. I've only seen a couple this week that Fred and them went to where they were high, but you see some of these other scores, and you're like looking. It's like, man, what's my flavor going to be like? That's why going to Texas was eye opener for me, and I really thought I was close. But again, at that comp, I got the same. My average for the last comps from the end of the World Championships and the 8 comps before that. My scores were always at the flavor of, it was always at a 50.9, never changed. And I said, I got to do something. So I started doing something, flavoring it, bam, hit it right off. And now all of a sudden, and so now it's been months and it's just, but I'm going to work hard at doing it, but it's getting harder now because with business going into business for myself doing that now, I got to take certain jobs now to, keep things going. And man, when they fall on the comp date, hope customers ain't listening. You're paying for that catering job that day.
You see where I'm at, rolling in late.
I know, dude, and I feel for you too. So that's why I take certain jobs. I'm really thinking about going to Boston Spa, and I'm even thinking about doing other ones like that because I got to do just because I was that close before, and I knew what I did in that part. But again, stuff changes. I get it. And I know you gotta have your little things. I have my little procedures. I use metal skewers now. But I'm telling you, I've changed everything. I've done the smallest things to salt and pepper almost. And I just, you know what I mean? Just don't. You know what I mean? You just get into that rut. So you just get going and you think, so that's why it's good to have a break right now. It's good to be stressed trying to start something new this way, which is healthy. Stress, it's mine. Nobody else's. Dave gets it. And you want it. You're going to do something to get it. So
Absolutely.
No doubt. Definitely.
So you do catering full time? Is that what you do now, or is that just kind of?
I'm trying to get a trailer up and going. I've owned this trailer for a couple of years now, and I was in the process of just having everything turned in. We did a HACCP plan, had everything doing that stuff we got to do for the health department to get 5 days code kicked in and just shut everything freaking down. And guess what happens? Nothing new gets gone through. Well, I ended up trying to get it going, and I'm just having a problem with my local fire marshal. He doesn't understand that, Old Hickory 700 does not need a fire suppression system, but that's for some other people are taking care of right now. And I'm just through the process. I'm so close, guy. I've been so close for years. I've been paying on everything for years, but I'm going to do it full time. I was working in the beer business, got fed up with it after the COVID, and just not too long ago just like I've seen like a lot of people, and I think I can make it work, and I got to make it work now. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to bust tail, but I'm also going to do my competitions, and that's when I'm going to do my barbecue comps too. But that's why I got to step my game up. If I want to be what I want to be, I got to be doing it too, and just not talking it.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. That's what you got to
So-
do. You just got to do it.
Now, there's been a couple questions asking where we can find your rub recipe.
My what?
Your rub recipe. Yeah.
The one we're working on, right?
I don't know. So is that I gotta ask though? Is when they say BSC, is that you? Like, is that something you're working on, or is that like
No, it's several people working on it. It's several people working on it and using it right now.
Okay.
And it's nothing. Again, it's nothing to. How do you say? Because right now, just think about it. And again, you got the Archisippy combos. You have all these others. Elk, another good one right there. Elk DB180 with all. Just think about that. All the different flavor combinations you could be doing with all those rubs and stuff. But each time you hear with a certain one, it's a certain one, spicy one this way, and it's just trying to get to a basic finish. You know what I mean? It's just a. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
I guess it takes I don't know. There's just so complacent, and everybody says just cook steak. Okay, we're just cooking steak, but I remember sitting at that table throwing them on the grill. It was just salt and pepper, and of course everybody's throwing their steak sauce and doing whatever. But people are doing things to these steaks now and stuff, and those flavor profiles. Again, that's what I said before. I was so curious to see the world how I would do, and that kind of showed me because that's the way it's been going the whole way. But yet, I bought the Archisippys and tried them all. I bought all the elk. I bought, you name them. I bought them, and I like using. As a matter of fact, I like using for some of the barbecue I'm doing right now with some of the different ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I start thinking, and I'm going to tell you another rub out there people don't give much thought about, and I always have used it, is Chupagubra. I'm telling you, I always start speaking name up. But all in Paris's stuff, man, I'm telling you. You layer that with some other stuff. Flavor Anonymous has got some banging stuff out there, and I'm telling you, that stuff I learned from some of these boys that are really straight up with me down south and at the shed. And I'm telling you, some of those flavors are unbelievable, but you got to think outside what they're labeled. You know what I mean? Just because it says it's for Ribbalicious, it ain't what I'm talking about either. But if it says Ribbalicious, it doesn't mean it's just for ribs anymore. That's like trim tabs. I love trim tabs. I don't know if you've ever had Leanne Whitman's father stuff, but I'm going to tell you what, man, that was banging. And I know certain people were using them.
I think we lost him.
I hope not. He's in a good spot.
I know. He was telling all kinds of secrets. He's on a roll.
Come back, man.
Ed. He looks like a wizard frozen in time.
He does. Look at that big old goatee.
It's like a waterfall.
It is. Little troll going to pop out the chin.
Yeah,
tell us the rest of the story.
Part the seas and open back up. I tell you what, I bet he could braid that thing.
Straight up. Should do like the ZZ Top.
I know. Everyone's crazy about a sharp dressed man.
For real.
Oh, he's gone. He'll be back. We lost him once. He'll be back.
Big Jim says he just needs some Big Jims. Yeah, Big Jim. I'm telling you what. I've been using that stuff at the restaurant. I'm knocking socks off. I'm not kidding.
It's good stuff.
People are like, what'd you do to this cheesesteak? Did you change the recipe? I'm like, yeah, it's just a little secret. I put it on the burgers and all the cheesesteaks going out. Everything.
Really?
Oh, it's amazing. I make my own. I start making burgers there and just eating with that stuff on there. I love it.
Oh, man, it is good stuff. I'll have to give that a try.
Oh,
so the restaurant's going well, man. We'll get caught up here. I mean, until Ed gets back. We lost him once. He'll message me if you got any problem, but the restaurant's going well.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was just wild today just because of the barbecue. The morning was slow, and then it picked up, and then it was nonstop from 3:30 on. Everybody just pork, and then we sold out about 6 o'clock. We sold out of the pork and everything else. The wings the wings were flying out the door.
Really?
Yeah,
Good,
it was,
man.
It was good. It was good. So I was excited.
Yeah,
But then on top of that, everybody else was ordering the regular food. So yeah, we were grooving.
Yeah, little people do people know this is the most you and I've talked since this week too.
I've been so busy.
I know, man. It's all good.
Barbecue and house stuff and. Angel
Dave,
said,
what did you do before
I-"
the restaurant? We have to have a Q chat with Dave and Jake.
Yeah. I did HVAC, heating and air conditioning, for 20 years. After 20 years, I said, I just want to get into food. I've been wanting to do food for a while. Big Jim's on asparagus. That sounds good. Wrapped in bacon. But yeah, so after 20 years, I mean, in the last 5 years, I've really put my passion towards barbecue.
He's back.
He's back.
To take a little step, if you know what I mean.
Right in the middle of the sermon. Right in the middle of the sermon, the pastor takes a break.
Yep.
But no, you were talking about all the rubs that are on a big run right now.
Yeah. Right. I don't know. Right. The ones that are hot right now. So anyway, with the flavor combos, I could see people doing stuff differently. It's got to change eventually, because one thing I do enjoy is talking to our judges before and after the comps. They'll always walk around, you just see them, but especially after, you learn so much things. Every comp, I've always learned something with these guys. Hey, how was everything this way? Just mine's
killing me.
Chris Costin said Jake loves bacon wrapped asparagus. Jake does love bacon wrapped asparagus, but his cholesterol has gone up since bacon wrapped asparagus was invented.
just real quick. So anyway, the flavors are just going everywhere, and I think it's eventually going to end up changing soon. But it's somebody doing a little bit of the Archisipi with a little bit of this, and which they're probably doing now. They're just not saying it.
Absolutely. Now, do you feel that last week, I don't know if we said it on air or if it was off air, we were talking with some people, Keith Angel, Lindsay and Scott, judges are starting to want more just plain regular steak. Have you noticed that at all with the people you talk to, or anything you've seen as, people are trying to go overboard with these seasonings and layers when judges are kind of now just scoring those down and when they want more of just a plain good steak?
See, that's why I always like going to the new people when they place in the top 10 and always say, and Chuck, you're going to be mad at me, I'm messing up your name. Chuck Canaro, I know I'm messing his name up, but at Catawissa, he ended up getting his golden ticket there at the one in the winter, and he used salt and pepper. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then that just makes you wonder. It's end of the year. People are tasting stuff. Finally, the table gets sitting, and all of a sudden, man, this was really good. This reminds me of a good old steak. So, and that's where I've been going wrong lately, the past comps, because I've lightened up the rubs a little bit and tried to accentuate a little bit more of the salt with a little bit of the flavor. And my taste scores have gone really good with it. But I'm working, trying out some new brine and everything that way with DB 180 right now, a dry brine, and I'm gonna keep on working with that because I really do like the flavor it ended up doing for my thing. My last comp, my scores, my tenderness was starting to get better. My scores will show it, but all of a sudden my tenderness just took a hit. But I also took a try right towards the end, and this thing was a fat, juicy thing, and I was thinking more like me eating it than judges. But I still did what I did with it, and I second guessed myself with it, and I got bit by it. But everything else was awesome score other than the tenderness, and I did get a good overall with it. So past two comps have been within top 15. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Now, have you taken any classes like Barbecue Champs Academy or anything like that?
Now, once I got up with Will and all, I did take his. I just felt I should see what his program, what he goes and does. And believe it or not, and I've discussed it with other people who take their classes and stuff and ask them how much, I'm going to tell you 80% of it, 90% of I knew there's little things I picked up. And it's funny, I could see others picked up because I could see them using the same certain tools and stuff. And that way, But he's really got me interested in searing the steak now because we've been doing that home a lot. And I'm telling you, steak seared are banging flavor wise. And I'm just guaranteeing you, but again, it's like, do you go ahead and do it? Will chances it sometime and he does it. I'll tell you, I did one here and my wife kept telling me the best steak we ever had before. And I mean, it was right on with temp, everything. And I learned that from him. And it's a procedure I like to do. And I'm almost to that mood right now towards like, what else? Why not try it? But again, it takes another cooker and something to do. And she's already going to be mad when next time I come home from Lancaster. So she'll probably be with me. So you know what I'm talking about, Tom and Michelle. The next one's mine.
Oh, wow. I'm curious to see what you bring home now.
Oh, it's an easy guess. No hable, no English.
Okay, yeah. Oh, man.
Well,
Ed, we're coming up here on an hour, brother. You were worried about what we were going to talk about for that long, man, and we could keep going, but what is a tip or something that you'd give to someone that's getting into barbecue or steaks?
You know what? The steaks, I'm surprised more people don't do it. It's just because it is really neat. I do all the local guys now. I have some ones that'll make some jokes and stuff. Anybody cook a steak, well, put your mouth where your money is, you know? I mean, serious, dude, come with me one time. We'll put you in there and show me how you cook your steak. You go ahead and just come with us one time and check it out. I'm guarantee you'll be addicted. Like that one in Boston. I'm going to try to get a lot of family members to go to that one because I know my family up there, they love to cook, and that's where I get it. And I'm telling you, you get a bunch of those hooked up there, that'll help Scott and Lindsay out because those poor souls with their traveling spirits. But, you know, more and more is going to be happening. It'd be good to have some different areas to go off to. I'd like to go to more out to the Pittsburgh ones, West Newton, up to Ohio and Tennessee. But just to get into it, though, have a love for doing it and I'm telling you, just the people are good. You get people like me are just going to talk your ear off till I get your name and I realize I like you or not. And then the other ones are going to be real knowledgeable and they'll have a good time with themselves. And then we all get together at the end, high five, and I go home in the truck and talk to myself most of the trip lately. So, it's always good to talk to yourself as long as you don't answer yourself.
Yeah,
that's right.
I ride a lawnmower now, and that's when I go. I don't even put the earbuds in no more. I put ear protection in, and I just ride. I do all my thinking on a lawnmower, hour and 45 minutes. Just
same here.
Just get it done. So I do it seriously every 4 days, and I love it.
I'm finding more and more that when I drive around all day for work, my podcast is paused or I'm not even listening to music, and everything in my head is going on at one time.
I'm telling you, dude, it's good to do that once in a while and clear your thoughts out because I've heard so many people say, you know, just do your steps, you do that, and there's outside elements. And I think a lot of times people probably say, well, if he wasn't a social and he does his other, but that's my comfort. That's how I shoot off my anxiety with everybody, you know, having a good time with you. If I got good vibe, even if I'm going to get to know you, because again, Brian Wolf, he's been next to us. I was like, man, we'll give this guy help. He's new. I better be asking him for some tips because my man's he's been on there. John Paul Green and of course Tim Noel. You guys got to have him on sometime too because he's a blast.
Absolutely.
That way, but it's just you get to hang out with these guys and you just see what they do in their personal lives all the time with the cooking and stuff. It's just phenomenal, and that's just our roots as a human being is to do that. But anyway, to answer your question, I forgot what it was because I've been babbling on.
What would you tell someone getting into steak cooking or barbecue?
And barbecue, I'd definitely do the backyard to start with it. And basically, Luke told me, why are you doing it? Why are you doing it that point? If you want to learn and stuff, do it that way. There's different chances. Take the level. That's where you go with the SCA or do a backyard. But if you're going to do a full blown, I think you should go and hang out with the team, volunteer to be on a team. I don't think I have the patience to have somebody on a team right now unless I really know them. But it's good that way. I always offer neighbors. They always say they want to learn. I said, well, okay, I'll see you 2:30 in the morning. and okay, I'll be there. But they show up at 9 o'clock, and it's like, okay, what did I miss? You missed a lot, and you just might as well go right now because you're getting ready to see foil wrap, and where you're just about done.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just the dedication and stuff to learning to doing it.
Absolutely. That's a good tip. It's a good tip,
Yeah.
man. Well, Dave, you got
Sorry,
anything, man? I haven't asked that in a while.
I'm good.
Really, Dave? Nothing for me, Dave?
You know we have our talks later.
Yeah. You gotta stop. I appreciate you guys having me on. At first, I thought this was gonna be just like, all right, it's time to get Ed good. So
no.
Pictures. Oh my God,
I don't know. Now that we have you on, I messaged you about a little project a while ago. We can't say it on air, but I'm definitely still interested in doing something like that. So we'll talk about that once we go off live here. We'll talk about that a little bit here, real quick. But
yeah, you got it, bud. That's actually a pretty cool idea. Somebody else asked me to do something for a thing, and I actually mentioned that somebody's already asked me to do something. So I got you.
We'll figure it out. But all right, guys.
Sir.
Ed, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you out there on the trail.
I appreciate you and everybody else out there. Just thanks for having patience for me when we're out there. I'm just a gentle soul. That's all, folks. Gentle soul. Okay, where's that Jack Daniels now? I've been wanting to sip this thing for a while, man.
All right, y'all. Once again,
guys.
We won't be on next week, but we're going on vacation. I'm going on vacation. We will see you all here in a couple of weeks. So take it easy and buy some pizza from Dave.
Dave, pizza.